Hey, welcome to the Daily Gospel of John. We're in chapter 1, verses 15 through 17. John testifies concerning him. He cries out, saying, "This was he of whom I said, 'He who comes after me has surpassed me, because he was before me.' From the fullness of his grace we have all received one blessing after another. For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ." So John was doing his job as a preacher, as a prophet, and he was heralding Jesus Christ. He was lifting him up and not himself. The job of a good spiritual leader is not to draw attention to themselves and show how great they are or develop their own following, but to point people to the only Savior of their souls, and that would be Jesus the Messiah. And John did that. And he recognized that Jesus pre-existed him. Said, "He who came after me was before me." And he, in recognizing his pre-existence, was pointing to his deity. Now, he also said that we have all received from the fullness of his grace one blessing after another. And that concept of God's grace, his overflowing, loving compassion, mercy and goodness, favor toward us, though we didn't deserve it. And what an awesome thing that God is not, again, just powerful and mighty, but he's gracious and compassionate, because we so much need that. And the average common people flocked around Jesus because he was like this bowl of grace spilling over wherever he went. And people recognized that and wanted to be near him. Even kids flocked to him. And then it says, "For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ." The Mosaic law in the Old Testament is upheld as a good thing in the New Testament. And yet, Jesus went beyond that. The law was given not only to give just good guidelines for living, but also to serve as somewhat of a plumb line held next to humanity to reveal to us our crookedness. If you had a bunch of crooked sticks lined up, you might say, "Oh, well, that one's more crooked than that one, and that one looks pretty straight." But then you put a straight edge right in the midst of them all, and you see, wow, they're all pretty crooked, aren't they? And you hear a lot of people sometimes say, "Well, I'm a pretty good person. You know, I'm not like Hitler or Genghis Khan or Attila the Hun." And yet, when we line up next to God's perfect law, we see what a mess we all are. I mean, who of us has not broken the first command and put something in place of God in our lives? Who of us has not blasphemed his name, using his name as a curse word sometime? Or who of us has not at some point disrespected parents, or told a lie, or stolen, or lusted, or hated? And so, even looking at the Ten Commandments, we stand condemned. I'm like 0 for 6 in what I just listed. And I think we all are a mess. And so as we look into the law of Moses, we see, wow, those are good things to do, not to steal or anything, and not to lie. But wow, and seeing it for what it is, it also slays me. But we see this, but grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. Grace, what we need. And so the purpose of the law isn't to condemn, it's to reveal to us our brokenness. And God's hope is that in understanding our brokenness, we would cry out to him who is the only Savior of our souls, and that he would forgive, and he would restore and give new life and salvation. That's why Jesus came. Have a great day.